This shoe has gotten a lot of hate, but does it deserve it? Let's talk about it. Montreal-based label Jjjound has been a long-time collaborator with New Balance on some of perhaps the most hyped sneakers from the brand over the last few years, with resale prices in the stratosphere. And the two have combined yet again, and this time it seems like sneakerheads are not as receptive. In this video, I'll be reviewing the New Balance 2002R collab with Jjjound. So these sneakers released initially on the Jjjound website, followed by 1 week later a release worldwide on New Balance websites as well as several other retailers for a retail price of $190 or 190 euros. I did actually buy these from the Jjjound website, and let's just say I won't be doing that again. I completely forgot about the ridiculous custom charges anytime you buy something from the Jjjound website outside of North America. So on top of the retail price, I paid another 70 euros in custom fees, so I pretty much ended up paying resale for the shoe. So I'll definitely remember that the next time there is a Jjjound release. It came in two colorways. The first one that I have right here is the one I actually like a lot more. This is the charcoal gray pair. And we also had a dark green or pine green colorway. Let me know in the comments which of the two that you guys prefer. Now, for a guy like me who lives in Berlin, a city where it rains pretty much every other day, that's Berlin weather for you, a shoe like this is very appealing to me, especially in those dark winter months, because it does come with that Goretex technology, which makes the shoe water resistant. Goretex is basically a membrane that is placed in several different clothing items and shoes, and what's good about this material is that it allows for ventilation but doesn't allow moisture to penetrate it. So your socks are definitely not going to get wet if you wear this on a rainy day. I tested this out for myself to see if it really is a water resistant shoe. I poured some water on the shoe, and yes, I can confirm the water was definitely not entering the shoe, neither from the mesh parts or from the suede. You can see the water droplets just chilling there and not entering the shoe. I'll be honest, I don't exactly understand how the suede doesn't become a darker color when the water hits it. It's like the water just bounces off the suede, which is kind of insane to see. So it's very much a great option for those wet, rainy days. This colorway too is such a rainy day colorway because of how much black there is on the shoe. I've grown to really love black sneakers recently because of just how easy they are to maintain and the fact that they don't get too dirty looking. And this one does have black as the base color. You can see that on all of the mesh panels as well as on the tongue of the shoe. And of course, who doesn't love those black end logos? It's what makes every single Jjjound collab pop. And of course, you get black on the midsole and the outsole here, which is the most important because yeah, it's not gonna look that dirty compared to a white midsole. And on the suede sections of the shoe, you get this charcoal gray color, which I would describe kind of like a washed black color. Yeah, this sneaker I think is gonna look pretty awesome with some black pants. Huge fan of the laces on this shoe as well. It definitely seems hiking inspired. You get these bungee style laces which have a bunch of 3M dots on it, and it's very simple to loosen or tie these laces. You just gotta pull this little pull tab here. If you're not feeling the hiking style laces, well, good news for you, it does come with these black laces as well, these regular flat style laces if you just wanted more of a regular sneaker look. What I noticed is interesting about the tongue on the sneaker as well is that it does seem to be attached to the shoe, and I believe that is because it does further make the shoe more rainproof. You get that nice, very subtle Jjjound logo on the heel as well. As usual with Jjjound collabs, there's very minimal branding. You also get a Jjjound logo on the insole done in black. And I have definitely talked about this before. I love wearing 2002Rs. In fact, I would say it's one of my most worn sneakers. I find the midsole on this pair as well as the 1906 and the 860 V2, the midsole is just so comfortable for me. And no different with this pair. It's one of those shoes you're just gonna want to walk in all day. I also appreciate the fact that the 2002R is quite a wide foot friendly shoe. For sizing on this pair, so I typically always go true to size in all my 2002Rs and 1906s, which is what I did on this pair as well. And yeah, it does feel like I made the right choice there. However, I will say it does feel a little bit more snug than some of my other 2002Rs. Like for example, my protection pack pair. The other pairs just seem a lot more roomier. I believe that is probably because of the thicker materials used on this pair. However, I wouldn't say it's thick enough or snug enough enough to want to go up half a size. I just think if you do that, there's going to be too much room in the toe area and it's going to get a little uncomfortable. So I definitely think true to size is the right size for you on this sneaker, but just expect it to be a little bit more snug. Looking at what these are going for right now on the resale market, so they're not reselling for a whole lot above retail, so about $100 or 100 euros above retail, which I think is pretty fair. I think that's around what most JJJJound collabs have been going for recently. The charcoal gray pair seems to be slightly reselling for a bit higher than the green one. If I could compare it with a very similar looking pair of 2002Rs, for example the Basement 2002s from I think a couple of years ago, that pair is not even Gore-Tex, but it resells for nearly twice as much. So if you compare it to that one, I definitely think this JJJJound pair is quite a bargain. If you are interested in copying, I will of course leave a StockX link in the description. Overall, here are my thoughts on this JJJJound New Balance 2002R. A common critique for JJJJound and New Balance collabs in the past have been people just calling these collabs kind of lazy. JJJJound doesn't really do a whole lot with the shoe except for throw on a different colorway, and I have two things to say about that. First of all, that is literally what JJJJound does. That is the entire ethos of their brand. Look at all the clothes they sell. I mean, if you could describe their brand in one word, it would be minimalism. They don't try to do too much. The focus is on making items that you can wear every day. So it would be, in my opinion, really weird for JJJJound to make a very loud sneaker or just try to do too much. And I also think that all of the previous pairs, even if they weren't a JJJJound collab, I still think they would sell out. For example, this 990 V3, if this was a GR colorway, I still guarantee you this pair would sell out. It is just, in my opinion, one of the nicest looking V3s. And I felt the same way about that Midnight Navy V4. You can also look at that amazing looking 992 pair as well. So even though I thought JJJJound was simply just throwing on different colorways on a shoe, the colorways were a lot better than the GR colorways. This 2002R pack, however, I will admit, and I kind of have to agree with the haters here, I do think that if this pair wasn't a JJJJound collab, it wouldn't sell out. The colorway is really not blowing me away, but maybe that's just a personal preference thing. However, I will say that after receiving this pair in hand, this pair looks a lot better in real life than it did in pictures. And what's really impressive also is the quality, especially on this suede. Like, even though this is some kind of Gore-Tex infused suede, it feels incredibly soft. Like, you definitely feel like you're getting a premium product here. I'm also loving the hiking laces. I'm also, of course, loving that black end logo. I will say I like these a lot more right now than I did a week ago. So if you do buy this shoe, or if you're thinking of buying this shoe, I don't think you will regret it because it is a very versatile shoe that you can wear in all types of weather. This is, by the way, not the only rainproof sneaker you can buy. I actually made an entire video very recently talking about my top 10 waterproof sneakers. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I will leave a link to that video up here. And do not forget to subscribe to this channel. If you found this video useful, I would highly appreciate it. And of course, if you're looking to keep up with me on the daily, make sure you follow my Instagram. That is where I am posting content every single day. And I just dropped the latest episode of my podcast, the Kickback Sneaker Pod. The links on Spotify, Apple Music, you can find that in the description as well. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and for supporting my channel. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.